Hi everyone. So for today's demonstration, I'm going to show how we've updated the Simple GIS Collaborate plugin to support clustered point symbols when needed, when generating a static web map. So to begin the demonstration, I have a very basic project that's loaded here. Really, I just have two layers. I have an OpenStreetMap base map loaded in my background. And then I have a point shape file that's just a basic point shape file of governmental units, as we can see here plotted on the map. Now, first of all, I'm going to go ahead and change the legend of my governmental units to cluster the point symbols. And so to do that, I'll double click on the governmental units layer to bring up its layer property settings. I'm going to go to the Set Layer Legend Symbols menu option. And here you can see I have a basic legend where all the features are using the same symbol. And underneath here, I have the option to cluster the point symbols. So I'm going to set this to cluster points. I'm going to leave my tolerance set at 2 inches. Again, this is inches on the display device that you're viewing. And so anything within this tolerance will be clustered. And once I have that set, I'm going to click Apply and Close Dialog. And I can see that it is now refreshed the map, and I can see that the point symbols have been clustered. I have this one point outlying here. Here I have a cluster. This represents 9 individual points, and here I have a larger cluster. It represents 68. Now, if you recall, using the Simple GIS Collaborate plugin, if you wanted to create a static web map of your map in Simple GIS, you would go to the Simple GIS Collaborate drop-down menu and scroll down till you see Publish Map to Web. At this point, I would click this option, and now I would set my settings. I had recently published a static web map, so it keeps the last path that I published to, so I'm just going to leave that. Again, this is just a folder on my hard drive. Logo, this is the last logo I used. Image, I'm going to leave that. Of course, titles. And so at this point, I'm just going to select the layers that I'm wanting to include in my web map. So I want the OpenStreetMap as the base map in the background. And I also want the governmental units. Again, this is a very basic map with just 2 layers. Yes, I'll go ahead and include the governmental units and the legend on the web application. And I'm going to leave all the fields selected, so this would show in any pop-up. So these are all the fields I would show. And I'm going to go ahead and also include this in my search menu. So I'll leave governmental units, and I want to search on the feature name field. And I'm going to go ahead for the maximum zoom, and I'll go ahead and include an address search bar as well. And so for the maximum zoom level, I'm going to bump this down a little bit. Actually, because I think the OpenStreetMap tiles, there's a maximum level it goes to. And for my GeoJSON features, which is the governmental units, yes, I do want to use Ajax for that. So that's just is how it queries the data in the background. So it doesn't hold up the website. It kind of does a background fetch asynchronously to pull in these points into your web map. And so once all that is set, I simply come here to Publish Web Map. And I see that it has published this web map. Again, I see that it is now clustered, all 78 features here. And then if I was to scroll in, as I scroll in, I would see that those clusters will separate. And I can still search on individual points by the feature name, which is the field I selected. So as I type, I'll get a list here, and I can select a particular feature. And then as I search on it, I see the pop-up comes up, and it gives me all of the attribute information. Of course, I can still click on any individual point and grab that information as well. So that's it. That's how easy it is to now support. And of course, the closer you zoom in, you'll see the individual points, and then as you zoom out, you'll start seeing the cluster the points together. The one difference is just with the symbology. It doesn't replicate the cluster symbol perfectly. It's in the Simple GIS Client. In fact, if you look at let me exit this dialog. You see on our actual Simple GIS Client application map, we do have a different cluster symbol. So that is one caveat right now. It does use a little bit different. Of course, as you mouse over a cluster, you'll see the outline of the area that represents that cluster. And so that's it. And hopefully this was useful. This is a brand new update, like I said, to our Simple GIS Collaborate plugin to allow it to support the point cluster new symbol feature that's available in Simple GIS Client.